Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the famous Pipe Smoker Friday show. And yeah, it's episode 6, moving along every week. And today I'm very excited because I was doing a lot of research, and the pipe smoker that I found today is someone whose birthday was on the 11th of this month. Um, but unfortunately, I missed that because of other planned pipe smokers, including the International Women's Pipe Smoker Day show. But anyways, when I was reading about this pipe smoker, I was very fascinated by everything I read, and I want to thank ahead of time uh, the website www.gov.uk, where I got most of this biography. Anyways, before I introduce the pipe smoker, this week's pipe smoker, let me remind you guys to please subscribe to my channel and check out my other programming. And let's get on with it, huh? So today we're going to be celebrating uh, Harold Wilson, who was Prime Minister of England, two-term Prime Minister of England. So, as Prime Minister, Harold Wilson enacted social reforms in education, health, housing, gender equality, price controls, pensions, provisions for disabled people, and child poverty. Harold Wilson was born in Yorkshire on 11 March 1916. He studied modern history for a year before transferring to philosophy, politics, and economics at Oxford University, graduating with a first-class BA. The Labour politician entered Parliament in 1945 as MP for Ormskirk, and later becoming MP for, hopefully I don't mispronounce this, Huyton in 1947. Then Prime Minister Clement Attlee made Wilson president of the Board of Trade. At age 31, he had become the youngest member of the cabinet in the 20th century. His first election victory on 15 October 1964 saw him win with a small majority of 4, which increased significantly to 98 after a second general election on March 1966. As Prime Minister, from 1964 to 1970, his main plan was to modernize. He believed that he would be aided by the white heat of the technological revolution. His government supported backbench MPs in liberalizing laws on censorship, divorce, abortion, and homosexuality, and he abolished capital punishment. Crucial steps were taken towards stopping discrimination against women and ethnic minorities. And Wilson's government also created Open University. In comparison, his outlook on foreign affairs was less modernizing. He wanted to maintain Britain's world role by keeping the Commonwealth united and nurturing the Anglo-American allegiance. For example, his approach to the Vietnam War saw him skillfully balance modernists' ambitions with Anglo-American interest when, despite repeated American requests, he kept British troops out while still maintaining good relations. Wilson biographer Philip Ziegler characterizes his role as, and I quote, honest broker. However, he had to fundamentally reshape Britain's world role after inheriting an overstretched military and a £400 million balance of payments deficit, which caused successive sterling crises. To resolve these two interlinked problems, Wilson launched a defense review and created the Department of Economic Affairs, which sought to implement an ambitious national plan. When sterling crisis continued, Wilson was forced to devalue the pound in November 1967. 2 months later, his government reluctantly announced Britain's gradual withdrawal from the strategically important East of Suez. Despite his initial hesitation, Wilson recognized the value of membership of the European Economic Community, or EEC. But his 1967 application was unsuccessful. Believing that his popularity had increased, Wilson called a general election on June 1970, but suffered defeat by the Conservative Party under Edward Heath. Wilson held on to the Labour leadership. The next general election on February 1974 resulted in a hung parliament, and he formed a minority government. He called another election on October 1974, at which he secured a small majority of 3. His next 2 years as Prime Minister saw him concentrate heavily on domestic policy, achieving social reforms in education, health, housing, gender equality, price controls, pensions provisions for disabled people, and child poverty. As a result, income tax on top earners increased to 83%. Job creation remained an issue. By 1975, unemployment had reached 1 million. Holy crap. He limited the damage caused by differing opinions within his party during renegotiations of the terms of Britain's EEC membership. He also sought to resolve the troubles between the nationalists and unionists in Northern Ireland, but was ultimately unsuccessful. On 16 March 1976, 5 days after his 60th birthday, he stunned the nation when he announced his intention to resign, a decision that he claimed he had made 2 years previously. James Callaghan, leader of the Labour Party, succeeded him to the role of Prime Minister. So there you have it. That's all I got for Mr. Harold Wilson, Prime Minister of England, 2-term Prime Minister of England. I found a lot of that stuff fascinating, especially all that he was able to achieve. Open University, which I believe is free. Well, I have to do more research on that. That's just what I gathered from that. But all that he accomplished, even though under his tenure as PM, the pound, wasn't as sound as they say. But I think it's relevant that he was able to accomplish all of that by increasing tax on the top earners by 83%. I find that very relevant to what's going on here in our country. So that's essentially why I chose to speak about him today. So that's it. That's all I got. Again, my thanks to www.gov.uk for this information. That's where I got all of it. Even it ended with that sentence. Anyways, if you like this episode, go ahead and hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Check out my movie reviews. I put the link in the comments. or not in the comments, I put it in the description of this video. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the El Magnifico. And until next week, may God bless you all. So long. Thanks for all the fish. Ciao.